Now, this is one of our tags that we had left over from Halloween. So all I did was paint it white on one side. And the name that I'm putting on here is one of my girlfriend's grandchildren. And she has a cricket and she sent me the names. So I'm going to make 3 little Christmas wreaths for her grandchildren. Now, I got this tool from the Crafted Square. They had a couple little tools that you can use whether you had a cricket or not, and they do come in handy. Now I'm going to take this garland and attach it to the wire frame. You don't need to use hot glue, you can. But all we're going to do is wrap it around itself one time and then just keep going. We're going to cover the whole frame with the garland. This garland is definitely a good buy at the DT. I would buy an extra one just to keep in my stash. And now that our wreath is done, all we're going to do is attach lights. So I'm just going to take the lights and wrap them throughout the wreath. Now you can either hot glue the battery pack or tape it to the back of the sign. Either way, you have to do it with the top part up so you can change out the batteries, and either one will work. Now you can start right here, or if you want, you can add some Christmas bells, some packages, or pine cones. You can add any little decorations you want, or you can just leave it with the lights. But once you have your little decorations on here, we are done with this DIY. And for this wreath right here, we are going to use the Chanel yarn that we got from the Dollar Tree. And we're just going to cover the whole wreath frame with the yarn. I have to apologize for that shadow. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the house, the lighting. All of a sudden, my videos have this shadow and I cannot get rid of it. I flood with light, I take light out, I open the windows. I don't know what's going on. So it was just one of those days. So please forgive the shadow. And once we have our frame covered with our yarn, we're going to make a bow to add onto the name tag that we're going to attach to the frame. And here we're going to make our little famous cheap bow. We just cut the ribbon, add a little glue to the end, press down in the middle, and that's one part. And then we take another piece of ribbon and wrap it around the bow. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. How is the weather in your area? Has it gotten cold and stayed cold? Or have you received any snow yet? A couple little flurries coming down. Leave us a comment and let us know. Now we're going to take the stringer lights and attach it to the back of the sign, but we just want the actual bulbs to show. So you can either tape it down or add hot glue, or do them both. Tape them in place, decide where you want, and then hot glue the light wires to the back of this sign. Now I'm going to take this pick apart, and then we're just going to take some yarn and attach it together to make it like a little bouquet, and then we'll just add a little red ribbon to go around it to cover up the yarn. And once we are satisfied with our bouquet, we'll just attach it to this sign. I did add another loop to our bow just to fluff it up, and we are done with this DIY. Now, these 3 picks are what we're going to use for our wreath. Now, we'll do my disclaimer here. None of these items that I'm putting on the wreath or the wreath itself came from the Dollar Tree. Now, I got this wreath from Hobby Lobby. It was on sale. The picks were on sale. Everything was 50% off. I could not pass up these flowers. Look how gorgeous they are. So all I'm going to do is attach my flowers and my picks to this wreath. I like to flip the wreath over and attach it that way, or you can actually use the stems and the limbs, I guess what you want to call it, the greenery, to tie your picks in side of the wreath without cutting them or gluing them. So that's your choice. You can attach it that way. You can take the stems and wrap it around the wiring in the front or the back, and then just cover it up with the greenery. Now see, with this flower right here, I'm going to pull the stem out, and like I said, I'm just going to take it and I'm going to wrap it around that wire. And once I have it wrapped around the wire, I'm going to use the greenery and the flowers to cover up the stem. Now, these gold pine picks, I will say, are the gems of the season. I love them because they didn't have any glitter on them. They were good quality, and I just like the way they brought that pop of gold out on each wreath that I've used them in. I believe they were either $1.49 or $1.79 with 50% off. My only regret is I wish I'd have grabbed more. So if you see these, I would definitely grab them because they are a gem. Now, when you cut your ribbon, you can make it 6, 8, or 10 inches, depending on how big you want your bow to be. So I'm going to fold the ribbon in half, and then we're going to cut it across from us so that we have the tip. And then we're just going to flip it over and do the same way. If you cut it the wrong way, just flip it the opposite way and recut it again. So don't worry about it. Just keep going and you'll get it. And then we're going to add a piece of yarn to bring our bow together. Now you can use a stem, you can use ribbon, or you can use wire. Now this is a fun bow. So like I said, if you cut it wrong, just flip it over and cut it out. This is your bow. And trust me, the bow and the scissors, we had a little issue there, but we worked it out. Now, you could have used the ribbon that you attached the bow together with, but I just wanted something a little bit sturdier, so I used the Chenin stem, and then I took a piece of gold ribbon to cover up the color of the Chenin stem. And then we're just going to attach it to our bow. You could glue the stem to the wreath or just take it in the back of wire and wrap it around just to secure your bow to the wreath. Now I'm going to take a couple extra pieces of this red ribbon that we had left over, and I'm just going to add it to the wreath. And what I'm going to do is just place it in there and wrap the branches around the ribbon to secure it. And then I'm also going to take a couple pieces of gold and do the exact same thing. So I'm going to have a couple pieces of red ribbon and gold going throughout the wreath. This part is optional. You don't have to do it. Once you're satisfied with your bow, we are done with this DIY. I just figured we could add a little couple pops to it since we had some extra ribbon laying around. Now we're going to use the wooden cutouts from the dollar store, and the scrap paper you can get anywhere. I believe this was 67 cents with 50% off at Hobby Lobby. So we're going to take the trees and put them over the paper on the back side, and we're going to just trace out the tree. Now, once we have all the trees traced, we're just going to cut them out for all three of the trees, and then we're going to glue them on. Now, to attach our paper to the wood, you can use Mod Podge, you can use glue, wood glue, or just the old-fashioned glue stick. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to put a good amount of glue on the back of the paper, some on the wood, and then just attach the paper to the wood. I'm going to do it for all three of our trees. Now we're going to take these 3 boxes that we got from the dollar store, the signs, and we're going to turn them over and glue them together. The third one in the back, I did use some anti-wax just to cover the design that was on the front of it. We're going to take these garland twist ties from the Dollar Tree also, and we're going to glue them to the top of each of the signs. Now I'm going to use these little DIY stars to put on top of the trees to cover the holes. We're going to line up our trees and put them in a position that we want them to be in, and then we're just going to take some hot glue and put it in front of the tree and attach that to the back of the box that it's going in. And we're going to do that for all 3 of our Christmas trees. I added a couple of pine cones to the front of the trees, and once we do that, we are done with this DIY. Now, this hat came from my stash from last year, and also the flowers. Michael sells these hats every year, and they come in 3 different sizes. Now, this is the smaller one of the 3, and they're the snowman hat. So I didn't get to use it last year, so we're going to use it this year, and they are 40% off right now at Michael's. Now, when you have a bouquet and you don't want to use it as a bouquet to put in a vase, you can always cut the flowers off of the stem and use them in another project. And that's what we're doing here. So we're just going to do a quick, easy flower arrangement. I did put a foam inside of the hat. I glued it down. Now this bouquet is not full enough, so we're just going to add some more picks that we have laying around. And I tell you, that's a great thing when you don't use everything you have. Just bag it up, and you can use it for another season, or you can save it for Christmas. And once we are satisfied with our arrangement, I'm going to take one of these garland twisty ties and I'm going to place it inside of the hat to cover up the phone. And once we do that, we are done with this DIY. Well, my loves, that is the end of our DIYs. Which one was your favorite? Which one are you going to recreate for your own decor? Leave us a comment and let us know. If you are new, welcome aboard. Hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to go on this journey with us. The notification button just lets you know every time I upload a video. The like button, if everyone hits, helps my channel to grow and let me know that you want to see more context of DIYs. If you are returning, you are truly, truly appreciated. I want to thank everyone for taking time out of their day to watch my videos. I know that we are in the holiday season and everyone is busy, but when you go out, pack your patience. Have a blessed day. Remember, it costs nothing to be kind, and we will see you in our next video.